program says that more food is reaching Gaza since the October ceasefire, but humanitarian needs remain critical. Heavy winter rains have spoiled some delivered supplies, adding to the challenges for families in the war-torn territory. Since the ceasefire, 40,000 tons of aid have entered Gaza, but only 30% of the target has been met, reaching just over 500,000 people. Food prices remain high and many Palestinians rely on aid, with some unable to afford basic items like chicken, which now costs $25. The World Food Programme says sustained support is essential to help families rebuild their nutrition, health and livelihoods. And now joining us live on this story to give his insights is Major General Dr. Rajan Kochur, who is a senior strategic and international affairs expert, joining us live from New Delhi. A very warm welcome to you for joining us on this bulletin at NewsX World. And now clearly the refugee crisis continues to remain, and in Palestine we're seeing how those in the camps are unable to meet their basic needs. What kind of support should be given to these people in the camps?
Thank you, Kriti. It's a very difficult situation for the Gazans as of now, because there are tremendous logistical challenges, because they are very far spread out. And to bring this humanitarian aid to each and every person in Gaza is a logistical challenge. And uh, a second important aspect is that no storage infrastructure is also available, because you see, if you are able to bring in, I'll just give you an example. Supposing 500 trucks have moved into Gaza. So now these trucks will have to move around different areas, north part of Gaza, central part of Gaza, south part of Gaza, and you after the aid is distributed, there would be some uh, undistributed aid also. So you need to have a storage space. Also, you need to have a storage space to bring in more tons of food. As you said in your opening narrative, that only 50% of the Gazas have so far been supplied with these items, and the capacity also is only 30% to that requirement of that people there. So you would have to create some kind of a temporary storage capacity, because and these activities have to go side by side. You can't wait for the infrastructure to come up and things like that. You have temporary storage shelters available, and WFP can organize it in consultation with the UN. Support of the Israelis would also be warranted in this kind of a case. And now the winters are approaching. So there is also a significant challenge, because in winters you will find that people are going to be affected more due to the weather conditions. Second is that there is a heavy malnutrition in this area. There are a large number of children who are have got life-threatening diseases. So, how do we deal with this particular problem? Because aid is one part of it, that is the food and other things. What about the medical supplies, the oxygen, the blood banks, the surgery, the doctors, the hospitals? So, I think that is also another area where the rebuilding temporary systems have to come up, because unless we have a multi-pronged strategy for Gaza, I don't think even by sending this aid, though I'm glad that things have started moving there, it's a positive signal, but much more is required to be done.
Well, sure. Well, capacity building will definitely remain a big challenge in the war-torn region. But Dr. Rajan, I requested to stay on with us as we have some more news coming from Palestine, where in the West Bank, Palestinians are mourning the death of a local police officer, Yunus Ashtieh, who was reportedly killed during an Israeli raid in the village of Tel Nir Nablu. Now, the incident comes amid continuing tension across the West Bank, where Israeli operations and armed clashes have grown increasingly frequent. The killing of Ashtieh adds to the rising toll in the region, underscoring yet again how volatile the situation remains for civilians and security personnel alike. Now, I want to bring back Dr. Rajan into the discussion on this. Dr. Rajan, do we see Palestine in any capacity, will it be able to retaliate to these kind of attacks?
Uh, Kriti, I think it's unlikely because military autonomy is there in West Bank, and most of the areas are dominated by the Israel Defense Forces, and therefore I don't think Palestinian Authority has got much of leeway. You see, as far as the security and, and the stability of this region is actually concerned, and tensions are already very fragile because I have seen that a small incident also gets exaggerated, and the people are also come onto the streets, and there is a law and order situation. So there is much to do with the military aspect, though civil policing is under the jurisdiction of the Palestinian Authority. So I think this incident is going to be significant because when you go after these uh, terrorists or the militants, you cannot be seen killing a man in uniform who is part of the police force. So these raids which are taking place by the IDF uh, definitely needs more collaboration, deliberation, and and it should not happen that you carry out indiscriminate firing and resort to killing of policemen because why it is important is because it has an escalation risk. Because once you target a Palestinian like this, you may find that the escalation of the law and order situation with the people also coming on the streets and protesting. Because whenever such an incident happens, there is a public mourning. You will find that a rally you will be organized by people in the form of a protest, or there will be a call for a retaliatory action. So I think
Yeah.
these incidents are very, very sensitive. They need to be handled with a great deal of sensitivity, and especially when there is a perception in the West Bank that the Israelis are trying to change the demography of the West Bank. If you remember, 22 settlement colonies have recently been established in the West Bank region after a period of 10 years. So we see that the situation in Gaza is stabilizing. We don't want a situation in the West Bank to develop to create another pressure point here. So I think Israelis should take note of this and be slightly more careful whenever they carry out the raids next time.
Sure, well, you do call for Israelis to be careful, but do you see that happening? Do we see IDF bringing down its operations in the West Bank, particularly on any level?
No, I don't see that happening because there is a specific agenda in which the political establishment of Israel is actually working now, and especially Netanyahu and his far right elements in the government, because they are quite uh, uh, confident and vociferous in carrying out these activities in the West Bank. And also, one larger point I would like to make here is that Israel is not looking at a two-state solution at all. So there is no future you envisage as far as the Palestinians are concerned, because Palestinians are not going to get their own state, at least in the near future. So what then I can presume is that these kind of raids, activities, and harassment and uh, having these roadblocks on the roads, checking off the population in the various areas, even the mosque itself, people are being checked to go there. So I don't feel that Israelis have a mindset right now to reduce their activities in the West Bank, because they have a clear mandate that there won't be any two-state in the near future.
All right, sure. Thanks, Dr. Kocher, for joining us and sharing those insights with us on NewsX World. Viewers, we now move on. Lebanon's President Joseph Aoun